Hey everyone, happy Saturday. Hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to talk about the heart of our faith. Galatians 2:15 and 16. Paul believed nothing merited his boasting more than the cross. Galatians 6:14. He had good reason to think this. Upon two beams of rough hewn wood, salvation was made available to all people. It is through Jesus' sacrificial death that we are reconciled to the Father and freed from the penalty of sin. Galatians 2:16. To the Father, freed from the penalty of sin, says, by the works of the law, no flesh will be justified. That is, right living cannot earn God's acceptance. Even so, people choose to put confidence in some sort of cosmic scale. They believe their good deeds will outweigh their bad deeds, and as a result, the gate of heaven will be open to them. However, if this were true, Jesus' death would be senseless. It would be null and void. Why would Jesus have even had to come? The problem is pride. Since it's natural to desire acceptance, people want to believe something within them is worth loving. But the cross requires kneeling empty-handed before God, knowing that nothing we could do would ever be good enough, and accepting God Himself and His overwhelming grace is it. While it's true that we have nothing to offer God to secure salvation, the fact is that He expects nothing in return. Instead, the Heavenly Father did everything necessary to cleanse away the stain of our sin and reconcile us to Him. The cross is the symbol of His divine love to us, a love that deserves our greatest thanks and our utmost praise. I think the day that I realized that, it was July 28th, it was either 1998 or 2001. I'll have to go back and look. The day that I realized that there was nothing I could do, that I was a sinner, and that God sent His only Son to die on a cross for me. I was like, oh my goodness. You came down here in human flesh, lived a sinless life for 40 years, and died on a cross for me, and didn't ask anything of me. Nothing. There's nothing I can do. And I think that's when the words of Amazing Grace, oh, what a wretch I am. And I'm not perfect. And I mess up continually. But God doesn't see me that way. My sins are white as snow. So when people judge me Sometimes that judgment hurts. You know, I talked to you about my daughter saying, "Mom, you really got to stop letting your mom, change your mind," or I forget what I said yesterday. It shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter what other people think of you if you've accepted Jesus Christ. The only thing that should matter, what the God in heaven thinks of you. He sees you. He sees you as perfect. We're not, of course. He sees you as perfect. And so many times we're like trying to keep up with the Joneses, or trying to, I'm a hairstylist, so it's the latest, greatest hairstyle, makeup, clothing, which, I can do it on a dime, Ask me, because Dollar Tree has great skincare. I follow a YouTuber that gets skincare from Dollar Tree. And you can go to Goodwill and get, the bomb clothing and, secondhand. And my granddaughter, I've taught her, she's like, Grandma, can we go to Dollar Tree? Or now she says the $1.25 tree. But you can be frugal, especially in this economy. And my granddaughter made me this shirt. She was tie-dyeing shirts and she was selling them in the shop because, she wanted things, and her mom said, "Honey, I'm a single mom. I can't afford it." She said, "You need to start a business." I mean, she's been mowing grass. My granddaughter just turned 14, and she's been mowing grass. She's been making jewelry. She's been tie-dyeing shirts, and I did that with my kids. And whatever you make, half goes in the bank and half of it you can spend. When my kids turned 16 and they were driving, they got a gas card with a $100 limit every month. They had to pay it off. We had flip phones back then. They got $25 on their flip phone. When the $25 was up, that was it. Sorry. And they had a $100 debit card, but they had to pay that off also. When they got cars, they had to buy them the cars themselves, and I paid the car insurance. They had to put the gas in it. So if they didn't have money for gas, and then my son was like, his friends wanted him to pick him up, and I said, if you're going to be smart, you make your friends pay for the gas. And he goes, "Oh." And then my son was they called him the banker. But both my kids bought houses at age 19. I was so proud of them. So proud of them. But when you look at your children, that's how God looks at us. He's so proud of us. But you have to have communication. He's like a father. Spend time in the Word. Talk to him. Prayer. Fasting. I'm rambling. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow.